Hi, everyone. Um, this week we looked at Stella Adler and her focus on creative imagination. Um, and, and honestly, I've loved every minute of that because Stella Adler is one of my favorite acting teachers, like the greats, right? Um, and when I think about what it means for producing and directing high school plays and classroom study of great teachers, it's everything. Because I think young actors can't always access former emotions and like tie into their emotions. They can't like dig deeply, right? Um, they can't understand fully. But when we ask them to creatively play and figure out um, the what ifs, right? Then it's a little easier for them to access what's going on in a scene. One of the biggest takeaways for me was Adler's work on or in her belief that an actor's imagination must be carefully developed and just like you would a technical skill. But she didn't want she didn't want actors relying solely on personal memories or emotional recall the way Stanislavski did. Or more even, she aligned with Stanislavski. So I would say more like Strasberg, who she did not align with fully, even though she stayed in the company for a while. Um, Instead, she believed that truly great acting requires stepping outside yourself and creating inner worlds inspired by observation, research, and most of all, personal creativity. So, in the context of high school play, it's kind of a game changer. So, when I'm directing shows like Mary Poppins, which is what I'm doing now, and we just had our first weekend, I can't ask a 16-year-old student to identify with being magic nanny from the Edwardian period. Um, but what I can do is teach them to imagine what the world would look like, use the how, what, and when um, that Stella Adler really relied on in her teaching. Um, I can ask them how a spoonful of sugar can change the day, and that tie-in, right? Um, I can ask where of the early 1900s England and what was going on at that time. So I can ask them to research in different ways. So and the how, right? The how would you live then? How would the people act then? Who is your family? And do the big what ifs like Stanislavski. Um, and this also really applies to the production process itself. Adler wasn't just talking about performance. Her philosophy can influence the whole creative team. Um, when my students are designing the sets and building and costuming and working backstage, if they also have that buy-in and that tie-in to what was happening, then it's easier for them to have fun with it and not just be doing a job. Um, I think it's the same creative spark and imagination that can turn the stage into Cherry Tree Lane, right? Um, what really resonated with me about Adler is her emphasis on humanizing. She says that the goal of an actor is not just to perform, but to understand humanity on a deeper level. I see that in my students all the time. When they inhabit roles, they're gaining empathy and discipline and creative confidence. I allow that freedom in the classroom so that they can find all those things. That's why I'm drawn to her method as a director and educator. And I refer to her often when teaching. I have a quote in my classroom, um, and all of my students know that she's the one that I really rely on to help me teach them. She brings the philosophy of growth, and that feels really aligned with high school theater. Um, so whether I am blocking scenes or working through character motivations or the technical aspects of building and creating the on the other side with students, Adler reminds me that I should lead with imagination at the center of everything. And it kind of seems just like a no-brainer to me that the imagination would be involved in acting, right? And creating character. And she really believed in creating strong characters more than building our emotions and like our inner and diving deep into our inner thoughts. So it really resonates with me. Um, Theater isn't just about recreating reality, it's about transforming it into something. So thanks for listening. I hope you had a great week also, and I hope you enjoy Stella Adler as much as I do.